Today we have Sandy with Spay Montana on, and Spay Montana is one of our new member groups this year. So Sandy, let's make sure everyone knows exactly what Spay Montana does.
Well, we host spay-neuter clinics for people in need of assistance in communities and reservations around the state of Montana.
And how long have you been doing that? And probably give us some sort of number to make this really concrete for people of how many pets have been neutered.
Oh my gosh. So let's start with this. So when we're doing a spay or a neuter, a spay is for a female dog or a cat, and a neuter is for a male dog or cat. So I can tell you that we've done since 2008, somewhere around 72,000 companion animals throughout Montana.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
These are generally all for people that are in need of assistance or that otherwise their pets just wouldn't be done.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is offering a service that is so badly needed in our state.
Mm-hmm. So just out of curiosity, kind of off topic, are we making progress? It seems like every humane society is pretty diligent about sending out pets that are already spayed or neutered. And we have these big events going on. Are we making progress?
I think we are. When I first got into animal welfare, I was actually a board member on the Lewis and Clark Humane Society, and that was way back in 1990 when I was much younger. And I was watching this evolution of these beautiful companion animals being euthanized, and they were being euthanized for space, and that just wasn't acceptable. We don't want to be killing things for space or for the want of homes. And so it was apparent, you know, that we were just overwhelmed with animals, and people weren't educated enough at that time to really get into the spay neuter process. I mean, yes, it was being done, but not on a big scale. So when I was on the board, I kind of introduced what was called SNAP, which was Spay Neuter Assistance Program, and tried to work with the local Helena vets to get some discounts to get animals spayed and neutered, because at that time, the shelter didn't have the resources to do spay neuter or to see that animals were all spay neutered. I mean, the budget was like $70,000 a year, and you had to cover staff and everything else. So it was really a difficult process. And then so that kind of started the education process of the whole thing. Excuse me. That really started the education part. So as time went on, more and more people were talking about spay neuter. I had met with all the vets in Helena during that period of time, and they were kind of on board. They would help us like give a $5 certificate off of a spay neuter. So finally the board evolved to the point where it was mandatory spay neuter, which was very helpful. And I also got involved with legislation and things during the legislative seasons, trying to get some laws passed that would make it easier for people. So an organization started doing these MASH spay neuters, and there was a very progressive lady that began an organization that started doing spay neuter primarily on Indian reservations and trying to show people how to stop killing pets. She was very insightful. I mean, she was awesome what she started. It just didn't go far enough or in depth enough. So I got involved with the actual clinics way back in 2004. And I started organizing clinics and doing stuff at that time, and then founded Spay Montana actually in 2007. So that we were doing more consistent clinics. And once we took on an area, we hammered the area. And we're still going to these areas. So that's kind of a brief overall. And now, because spay neuter has become almost the thing to do, it's not a hard sell to try and teach people about why they have to spay and neuter their animals. It's established now. Now it's them finding the money to be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
In many cases, the cost is almost prohibitive.
So traditionally, this is the place where you've always helped out. You've had the big MASH type units. We're in the middle of the pandemic right now, and I'm assuming you're probably having to change how you achieve that right now.
It has been a challenge. And it's been a lot of webinars with a lot of veterinarians around the United States and other MASH groups around the country on how do we address a large volume clinic during a pandemic, because we can't be the spreaders of the disease. And our clinics have always been, it's kind of the cornerstone has been the community putting on these clinics and participating and volunteering in these clinics to get this stuff done. Well, then we had to figure out a way, well, we got to get rid of the public part of it because we can't do this. So with working with all these other organizations, we came up with a plan that was reasonably safe. It's not 100%, but reasonably safe by eliminating the number of people in the clinics. So we've cut back our clinics at least 90% this year because it took a lot of time to get all this together with all these other groups. But also when there's a spike in an area, we have to cancel the clinic. So my year this year has kind of been spent organizing the clinics and canceling the clinics only to reorganize the clinics for a later date. Well, I'm running out of months and weekends now. So like I said, we're down about, we've done probably 1,000 animals this year, and we should be going on towards 4,000 by now.
Okay. And people probably want to know about how to be involved in this. What's your website?
It's spaymontana.org.
Okay.
We keep a calendar up. We try and keep it updated on a daily basis so that people know where we are at any given time. As an example, this weekend, we're going to be in Great Falls. Because of COVID, we've cut down the size of our clinics so that instead of having 7 veterinary teams in Great Falls, we will be down to somewhere around 4. So this also helps us. We're doing curbside with the cats, and with dogs, we only allow one owner in with their dog to recover them and participate.
I was just at the vet this morning, and for my cat to get just his shots for the year, and it worked out pretty good. Just to park, have him come out, grab him, take him in, do what they need, and bring him back out. It's pretty effective and pretty safe.
Actually, we kind of like it, but at the same time, a component of our clinics are being missed because we love having the children in our clinics. Now we can't have children in our clinics, but they're like little sponges, and they go through this whole process, and it's like a bonding period. They're actually participating in taking care of their animal, and they learn what spay and neuter is all about. And they also, there's other things we do in the clinics with the kids, like, combing and clipping nails, and, doing stuff like that. But we miss that part because that's an important component.
Right. Well, I mean, the key part is you're adapting. That's good. You're still out there doing the good work. I noticed the one thing I never see anymore is kind of in the old days, quote unquote, was you would go to a department store or Safeway or whatever, and you'd see just someone there with a box of cats or something where they were giving them away. And I haven't seen that for years, really. So I do believe that this is making a difference in the pet population in the state.
Yes, definitely. That's something we notice when we see puppies for sale. We see that. We don't see cats as often, but once in a while we'll see puppies, and generally they're at a breeders, and breeders are selling them on corners like you know, the best lab in the whole world. They've got 7 or 8 puppies out there running around on the lawn, and they're selling them. We kind of frown on that. We like good breeders, and a really legitimate breeder isn't going to be selling their puppies on the curb. And so, you know, so there's, yeah, it's not as prevalent as it was.
Right. Okay, have we missed anything?
You know, I don't think so. We're expanding. We're getting bigger, and the need is far greater. I can tell you that right now we have virtually hundreds of people on these waiting lists. Hundreds. Because the economy is in not the greatest shape, and people just, they can't afford the $500 or $600 to get their animals spayed or neutered. They can't even afford to get in and get them shots. So we do low-cost vaccines in all of our clinics, so people can come in and get their animals vaccinated, because that's the rabies is a public health issue, and we don't want to get parvo out of control either. So we encourage people to bring their pets to the clinics, and we'll just give them their shots. We have people that come back 2 or 3 times, you know, with other animals, and then every couple of years they'll find a clinic and bring them in for their shot. So that's a real positive thing on our end.
Okay. So if people are in the mood to donate, I'm pretty sure they can probably do it on your website, and they can also go through Workplace Giving with Montana Shares as we get into the giving season. Am I correct? On your website, you do have a giving option?
We do. And we make it real easy and real painless. We have people, we've had a few people actually that do a monthly gift. And we have a system set up so they can do that.
Okay, perfect. Well,
or they can memorialize their pet. That's another thing we do is if they have an animal that they've had for years and they've lost their companion animal, they send donations in to help defray the cost of a spay or a neuter for another animal. And so their animal was actually helping another animal to survive.
That's great. Well, super. Thanks for being on the show today. And thank you for all the great work you're doing around the state.
Thanks so much, Bill.
Okay, we'll catch you later.
Okay, bye-bye.